Namaskaram. Good evening to all of you. This is G.Raghunath, School Assistant English, Jilla Parishad High School, Seethagondi, Mandal Gudhatnur, and the President of English Language Teachers Association, ELTA, Adilabad. On behalf of Education Department, Adilabad District, and with the instructions of Honorable District Collector and respected DO sir, we are holding these online classes or TV classes to help the students during this pandemic situation. So, for the last few weeks, our friends have been teaching classes in ACN channel as well as in ADB channel to support the children in education, and in part of that, here I am going to teach the 4th unit A section of 10th class English, that is the lesson or the newspaper article Rendezvous with Ray. Rendezvous with Ray. Okay, so this is Rendezvous with Ray. Rendezvous is a French word. The meaning of the word is a meeting place. A meeting place. Yes, now you can see on the monitor. Right, so before beginning of the lesson, I am going to give you a few important words and their meanings. Here is the first word, unique. Unique. The meaning of the word unique is being the only one of its kind, distinctive, single. And the second word is very important word, impact. The action of one object coming forcibly into contact with another. And let us see the third word, en route. On the way, during the course of journey is called en route. And the next word, stop over. A pause during a long journey is called stop over. Fascinating, extremely interesting or captivating. Path breaking. So the meaning of the word path breaking is pioneering, innovative. Compilation, put together by assembling previously separate items. This is called compilation. So at the end of the lesson, we will have some questionnaire in which the words or the questions may be asked from this vocabulary also, one word substitutes. So better to note down the meanings of these words in your notebooks. And the last word of this one is insight. Deep understanding of someone or something. Deep understanding of someone or something is called insight, and in other word we can say perception. Perception also means insight. Okay, let us start. Right, so now on your screen you can see a man's photograph. He is a very big man of Indian film industry, and you know what's the name of this man? He is Satyajit Ray. Satyajit Ray, Oscar award winner, right? And I am going to show you one more picture, and here the very important role, and he is the person who is going to tell all the things, all the details of Satyajit Ray, and this man is Francis Roberts, Gaston Roberts. And the third picture is, the three pictures you can see on the screen, Patar Panchali, Aparajito, The World of Apu. These are the three names of movies made by Satyajit Ray. And the three set of movies is called a trilogy, Apu trilogy. So here you can see a boy's image on the screen on poster, and this boy's name is Apu. Therefore we call them Apu's trilogy. Right. So today we are going to talk about Satyajit Ray, a big renowned personality of Indian film industry. And here in this article we read about the unique friendship developed between Gaston Roberts, 26 years old then, a French Canadian priest, and Bengali filmmaker Satyajit Ray. Right here in this lesson we are going to talk about the great friendship between the two personalities, and one of them is Gaston Roberge. He is not belongs to India. He came from Canada. He is called a French Canadian priest, and he made friendship with Bengali filmmaker Satyajit Ray. Though they belong to different countries, different religions, they made a good friendship, and it lasted for years. Right, now let us see the next slide. Gaston Roberge watched Apu trilogy. So I am giving you the definition or the meaning of trilogy. A collection of 3 movies is called a trilogy. In one sitting, he found the world of Apu so fascinating. I gave you the meaning of the word fascinating also. He was fallen in love with the people of India and Bengali cinema and culture. He wrote a book with the title Satyajit Ray Essays 1970-2005. This book provides original analysis of Ray's works, giving insight into the greatness of Ray both as a person and as an artist. Right. Here Gaston Roberge watched Apu trilogy in one sitting. So you can understand that he was so much captivated, fascinated, attracted. The theme of the movies and the picturization of the movies made him to sit hours together, and 3 movies together he watched. He did not stand up. He did not get out of the cinema theater or wherever he was watching. Right, and he was he found the world of Apu so fascinating. Apu's world was very attractive, very captivating. He was fallen in love with the people of India and Bengali cinema. Yes, here the word the fallen in love, it means we can understand that how much he fascinated with 2 things. Number 1 is the people of India and their culture, and Bengali cinema. So Bengali cinema showed him the culture, the people of India very nicely. He wrote a book. He fascinated, and afterwards during his 20 or 30 years of stay in India, he wrote a book with the title Satyajit Ray Essays. So he wrote a book, and the name of the book is Satyajit Ray Essays from the period 1972-2005. This book provides original analysis of Ray's works. Right, here is we can find analysis of Ray's works. Right, so analysis is nothing but we can see all the things, the good and the bad things, and the better things are particularly highlighted in this book Essays, and giving insight into the greatness of Ray. Right, greatness of Ray. Right, we can understand after reading all these essays how great he was, how intelligent he was, how devotional he was towards the Indian film industry, and he wanted to change the society through movies, through films. Right, both as a person and as an artist. Right, we can say that here as a person also he was a great person, and as an artist also, because he was a musician also, he was an actor also, right, and he was a screenplay writer also. So several dimensions we can see in the personality of Satyajit Ray. Therefore we have used the word here a person and as an artist. Roberge explained that there were 3 reasons to come to West Bengal. Now we can understand that then why did this person came from Canada or France belong. He was born in France, and later on he went to Canada, and then he came to India. Then what was the thing? So what made him to come to India? So he told that, so there were 3 things to come to India. 3 reasons were there to come to India. Number 1, a book, La Nuit Bengali, written by a Romanian writer, Mircea Eliade. Right, so La Nuit Bengali, the last nights, the Bengal last nights, the meaning of this book is, so Romanian writer Mircea and Eliade. And the second thing is Tagore's poems. So Tagore's poem also fascinated him, and Tagore's poem reflected Indian culture, Indian psychology, Indian's mindset. So it was very much captivating, so that he came to India. And the third one is an article on Mother Teresa in a monthly magazine named Reader's Digest. Yes, so Mother Teresa. So we know that Mother Teresa was in Calcutta. She was in Kolkata, right, and she served poor people, right, leprosy people, and an article was published in a monthly magazine. The name of the monthly magazine is Reader's Digest, right. So these three things were read by Gaston Roberge, and he was fascinated and he decided to visit India. Roberge does not endorse the accusation, right, of race detractors that the master director made his reputation selling India's poverty to the West. He said that the critics have shown their spiritual poverty by criticizing Ray. It was deplorable. Right here in this paragraph, we can see that there was accusation of accusation on Satyajit Ray. Right, that why? So some people, some critics told that he was making films on showing the material poverty of Indians, and he was selling the material poverty of the films in the West countries, and so that he was making money. But it was actually a criticism, it was not true, and it was not endorsed by Roberge. And he said that, so here I provided the meaning of the word accusation in bracket. So allegation, accusation means allegation or charge, right. So detractors, so in the text the word detractors is used, the meaning of the detractors is critics, right. So master director made his reputation selling India's poverty to the West. So this was the criticism made on Satyajit Ray, but he said that no, it was not right. So he was not making, he was not running after money, and Satyajit Ray did not want to make money by selling the material poverty of Indians in Western countries, right. He did not agree with that, and he said that by criticizing like this very poor, very mean criticism, people, some rich people have shown their spiritual poverty. Actually, they are spiritual poverty people, right. So that they did not understand what was good and what was his intention in making films. It was not understood by some rich people or some industry people, movie industry people, so that they criticized it like that, and it was not approved or endorsed by Gaston Roberge. Roberge says, I was here on a quest to know the world and in the process know myself. I did not come here to convert. In fact, I am the one who got converted. Right. So he said, Roberge says that I was here on a quest to know the world, right. He has seen the world, a small world in India. So because several times we say that India is a mother of many religions, many kind of castes, and many kind of eating habits, dressing, and so many things, right. It is India is symbol for unity in diversity. So it is a great place, India is a great place, and he said that he had a quest to learn so many things from Indians and from Indian land. And in the process of knowing myself, right, so before going to learn about himself, he wanted to know the world. I did not come here to convert, right. So I did not come to India to make changes of Indians' mindset, or in any kind of change I did not want to make. In fact, I am the one who got converted, right. There was much influence of Indians on me, I mean on Roberge, and he got converted, and whatever he had feelings or opinion about Indians or Indians mindset or Indians lifestyle, exactly, I mean absolutely he changed it, He said that I am the one who got converted, Indians converted me, here the intelligent people of Indians converted my mindset. So whatever I thought about India was wrong, and India is a great country. In order to make a worthwhile or significant dialogue with Ray, Roberge had taken 9 years. He joined St. Xavier's College to muster up the confidence to meet Ray. Then their friendship began and lasted for 22 years until Ray's death in 1992. Right. So here it is an example. So before going to meet a stalwart, very big personality, we cannot go and simply we cannot spend time with him. until and unless we have some stuff, we have some knowledge, a background knowledge of the industry or in his field. And Robert did the same. So before going to meet Satyajit Ray, he spent 9 years in Kolkata and he learned so many things, philosophy and Indians, mindset of Indians and culture of Indians, tradition of Indians and way of lifestyle of people of Indians, so many things. And about Satyajit Ray also he inquired something and he learned so many things before meeting him personally. And he spent 9 years in order to make a worthwhile dialogue, worthwhile or we can say a significant dialogue, right. With Ray, Roberge had taken 9 years, right. So he did not go and meet Ray as soon as he got down from the flight, right. He spent 9 years. He joined St. Xavier's College to muster up the confidence to meet Ray. Yes, to meet Ray. So muster up the confidence, to gather the confidence, because he is going to meet a big personality, and to talk with him he should have some good knowledge, a great knowledge, because he is an expert in industry and he has lot of knowledge. Satyajit Ray had lot of knowledge. Therefore, he mustered up his confidence and he spent 9 years. Then their friendship began and lasted for 22 years until Ray's death in 1992, right. So their friendship began because their dialogue between these two personalities was very significant, very worthwhile, and they could understand each other and their way of thinking was similar. Therefore, the friendship has started, the friendship has begun, and their friendship lasted for 22 years, right. So usually what happens, we make friendship and just a few months or after a few years we break our friendship, but here the friendship lasted for 22 years means it was a great friendship, and it is showing the similarity of their way of thinking, honoring each other, respecting each other, right. And here one more information is there. Satyajit Ray died in 1992. So until his death their friendship lasted, continued. Now one more slide here. Satyajit Ray was affectionately called as Monigda by his friends. Yes. So here one more thing, Satyajit Ray was affectionately called as Monigda by his friends. So he had good friends, Indians as well as for over the sea people of overseas, and all people called affectionately Monigda. And Ray's characteristics, here I am showing you. Then why are we calling him a great person, great personality? Because here I am showing you some characteristics. Massive stature, physically and intellectually, right. And he was physically very strong, I mean very tall, and intellectually very mighty person, right. Very great expert in the things, very intelligent people, right, intellectual, right, intellectually might people. And but one more thing is that the opposite character is very shyful, right. He was not extrovert, he was an introvert, right. He was shyful, so he was not ready to express his emotions to people, right. So shyful. And the third one is discreet. Yes, discreet, the meaning of the word discreet is careful and prudent about displaying his emotions, right. Whenever he expresses or conveys his emotions, he was very careful, very discreet, very prudently he expressed his emotions. That is the intellectuality, right. He did not shout at some people, right, or unnecessarily shouting, unnecessarily speaking, or unnecessarily making arguments. Such kind of things were not done by Satyajit Ray. And he was simple, though he was great person, world famous person, he was very simple, very modest person, very humble. He was not arrogant, he was humble, reserved with a subtle sense of humor, right, reserved nature. He was introvert, right, and a subtle sense of humor, but he has a nature of humor. He made some comic things also. He used it to make some comments that made all the people laugh. Yes. So in the previous slide we have seen the characteristics of Satyajit Ray. Now let us see. Ray used to invite Roberge over for private screenings of his latest films and welcomed comments on them. their unspoken meeting held at 9 a.m. on Sundays at Ray's residence. This happened only after the friendship had cemented. In the previous slide, we have seen that he was an introvert, he was shyful. After making films also, he did not exchanged or shared his emotions with any one of them. But after making friendship with Gaston Roberge, when their ideas were similar, he himself, Satyajit Ray himself, invited Gaston Roberge to his house, and there they had a film screening, and they used to see the movies which were made by Satyajit Ray together, right? Ray used to invite Roberge over for private screenings. Here the word private screenings is used. It means it was not a public screening, only just a few people were sitting together and they were watching the movies. And his latest films and welcomed comments on them. Yes, this is the greatness of Satyajit Ray. He welcomed comments, he respected comments of others, and sometimes if at all they are true, he made certain changes in his movies also. Their unspoken meeting, yeah, here the word unspoken. So unspoken is nothing but it was not prefixed, unstated, implied, right? He was just naturally, they were meeting at sharp 9 o'clock of every Sunday at Ray's residence. This happened only after the friendship had cemented. We use the word cemented. Cemented is nothing but strengthened. So when their friendship became strengthened or then only he started inviting Roberge to movies. And here in the next slide, we can see that here is an example to show his humane concern. Ray was the best screenplay writer. He used to write them in Bengali with notes in English for his set designer, sketches and music fragments too. Right. So here he was very humane nature, so kind nature, right, and understandable nature. Here is an example to show how human he was. So once what happened on one Sunday, he invited some of the great personalities or some producers of Kolkata to read, to go through the screenplays of some movies, and he was a best screenplay writer. Satyajit Ray was the best screenplay writer. He used to write them in Bengali with notes in English. So as his mother tongue was Bengali, he was fluent in his mother tongue as well as in English also, but he used to write the scripts in Bengali, but it was supported, the scripts were supported by the notes in English, and for his set designer. And he made some sketches also. He used to draw some things also, some sets also, set designs also on paper to make a convenient to the designer or set designer, like that, and music fragments too, and what kind of music should be given by the music director, he directed. So in the I told in the beginning of the lesson that he was a multi-talented person. Satyajit Ray was a multi-talented person. He was a film director and script writer, and music knowledge he had, and he had knowledge of drawing also. Like this multi-talented person was Satyajit Ray. And one Sunday, what happened? One Sunday, a few well-known personalities of the city, here the city means Kolkata, visited Ray to go through some of his manuscripts. After they left, he found the screenplay of the Charulata missing. He was almost sure who the culprit was, but he did not want to hurt the reputation of the person. Roberge was stunned by his humane concern. Right. So one Sunday, what happened? He invited, Satyajit Ray invited some well-known personalities of the city, and he showed them here the manuscripts of screenplays and what happened after they left? Satyajit Ray found that one of the scripts was missing, and the name of the manuscript was Charulata, right? Charulata. And what is this Charulata? And in 1964 movie, it is Charulata movie was made in 1964 based on the novella Nastanir, The Broken Nest, written by Tagore. Right, so this Charulata movie was based on the novella. So novella, so we generally listen the word novel, but here what is novella? Novella is nothing but it is a short novel. right? But it is not a short story, it is bigger than a short story and shorter than a novel. So we call it novella. It's a short novel with limited characters, right? Nastanira, right, the Bengali word, and the meaning of the word is the broken nest. This novella was written by Rabindranath Tagore, and based on this story, this movie Charulata was made, and after leaving all those personalities, Rabindranath Tagore understood who the culprit was, who had taken away the manuscript of screenplay of Charulata. But he did not want to hurt the reputation of the person, right? Here we can understand how human was, how his kind was, right? And how he understand the reputation of others also. He did not want to damage the reputation of others. Therefore, what did he do? In spite of having knowledge of the person who had stolen or who took away the manuscript, he did not make any kind of complaint. Rabaji was stunned by his human concern, right? Rabaji was stunned. Whereas in other countries, there used to be a great fight, there may be a great complaint in the police station or somewhere else, right? But here what happened? No comments or no arguments, no complaints. He understood, perhaps he made another screenplay, and but he did not damage the reputation of that person. So this was the best example for the human nature of Satyajit Ray. Like Rabindranath Tagore, Ray stored his time like a colossus. It means Ray passed his time or life as a renowned personality as if Tagore did. Both of them had a great reputation, right? In one of the paragraphs we can see that like Rabindranath Tagore, Ray stored his time like a colossus. It means here I provided the meaning of this sentence, and we may see one of the questions also in our examinations out of this. It means Ray passed his time as a renowned personality, very famous personality, well-known personality, a reputed personality in Kolkata and in West Bengal and India as well as Tagore was, right? Both of them had a great reputation, right? So here we use the word like a colossus. Colossus is nothing but a great personality with great honored person. Roboj writes, it is as if all Bengal was in Manikda, the rich and the poor, the powerful and the humble, the peasants and the city persons, children, teenagers, adults and old people, men and women. So here to show the comprehensive personality of Satyajit Ray, here such kind of sentence have been used by Roboj, and here the entire Bengal was in Manikda, because we can see every person, we can see every kind of characteristics, like rich people, sometimes he behaves like a rich man, sometimes he behaves like a poor man, sometimes a powerful, sometimes humble, sometimes he behaves like a peasant or very friendly with peasants, and sometimes like a city person, right? So we can see every dimension in Satyajit Ray, and like sometimes he behaves like a child, he makes humor, he makes to love the other persons, right? He makes comedy, and sometimes he behaves like a teenager, adult and old people, men and women, everything whatnot, in every direction. So that Roboj used the sentence, it is as if all Bengal was in Manikda, right? All Bengal, the Bengal, all characteristics Manikda, right?
వాసెక్టమీ ఆపరేషన్లు చేయబడును. మా వద్ద ఈసీజీ, ల్యాబ్, నెబులైజర్, ఆపరేషన్ థియేటర్, లేబర్ రూమ్, ఇన్ పేషెంట్ సౌకర్యం కలవు. మా హాస్పిటల్లో డెలివరీ అయిన ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి బేబీ కిట్ బహుమతిగా ఇవ్వబడును. అన్ని రకాల ప్రసూతి సేవల కోసం సంప్రదించండి. శివప్రియ మెటర్నిటీ అండ్ చిల్డ్రన్ హాస్పిటల్, స్టేషన్ రోడ్, శివాజీ చౌక్, ఆదిలాబాద్. ఫోన్ 08732230134, సెల్ 9182511234.
ఆదిలాబాద్ న్యూరో సూపర్ స్పెషాలిటీ హాస్పిటల్ ఆదిలాబాద్. మన ఆదిలాబాద్ లో ప్రతిరోజు ఫుల్ టైమ్ సీనియర్ న్యూరో ఫిజిషియన్ గారిచే సూపర్ స్పెషాలిటీ వైద్య సేవలు. డాక్టర్ ఆర్ రాకేష్ రెడ్డి ఎంబీబీఎస్ ఎండి జనరల్ మెడిసిన్, డిఎం న్యూరాలజీ న్యూరో ఫిజిషియన్. నరముల, మెదడు, వెన్నెముక, పక్షవాతం, ఫిట్స్ వ్యాధులకు ప్రత్యేక వైద్య నిపుణులు గారు ప్రతిరోజు నరాలు, మెదడు, వెన్నెముక, పక్షవాతం, ఫిట్స్ వ్యాధులకు, తలనొప్పి, పార్శ్వపు నొప్పి, మెడల నొప్పులు, వెన్నెపూస నొప్పి, డిస్క్ సమస్యలు, కండరాల నొప్పులు, నొప్పులు, కాళ్ళు చేతులు మంటలు, కాళ్ళు చేతులు తిమ్మిర్లు, తల తిరగడం, నరాల బలహీనత, షుగర్ వల్ల వచ్చు నరాల వ్యాధులు, కాళ్ళు చేతులు వణకటం, పార్కిన్సోనిజం, తలకు దెబ్బ తగలడం, మెదడులో గడ్డలు, మెదడులో రక్తం గడ్డకట్టడం, మెదడు జ్వరాలు, నిద్రలేమి, మానసిక ఆందోళన, జ్ఞాపక శక్తి లోపించడం, మతిమరుపు, కంటి నరాల జబ్బులు, బీపీ సమస్యలు, స్పర్శను కోల్పోవుట, మాటను కోల్పోవుట, పిల్లల్లో వచ్చు ఫిట్స్ మరియు అన్ని రకాల నరాల వ్యాధులకు మరియు పక్షపాతానికి, ఫిట్స్ కు మరియు ఇతర న్యూరో అత్యవసర వైద్య చికిత్సలు ప్రతిరోజు అందించబడును. ఈఈజీ, ఈఎన్ఎంజీ, ఎన్సీఎస్, ఆర్ఎన్ఎస్, విఈపీ, బిఈఆర్ఏ, ఈసీజీ, ఫుల్లీ ఎక్విప్డ్ ల్యాబ్, ఐసీయూ, స్పెషల్ రూమ్స్, ఫిజియోథెరపీ, ఫార్మసీ మొదలగు అత్యాధునిక సౌకర్యాలు కలవు. సంప్రదించండి. ఆదిలాబాద్ న్యూరో సూపర్ స్పెషాలిటీ హాస్పిటల్, సెంట్రల్ బ్యాంక్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా దగ్గర, టీఎన్జీఓస్ రోడ్ ప్రక్కన, ద్వారకానగర్, ఆదిలాబాద్. ఫోన్ నంబర్ 08732796285, సెల్ నంబర్ 9494327151.
మన ఆదిలాబాద్ పట్టణంలో మొట్టమొదటిసారిగా 24 గంటలు కార్డియాలజీ వైద్య సేవలు అందించే హాస్పిటల్ లక్ష్మీ కార్డియాక్ అండ్ జనరల్ హాస్పిటల్. హైదరాబాద్, నాగపూర్, యావత్మాల్ వంటి నగరాలకు వెళ్లనవసరం లేకుండా ఆదిలాబాద్ వాస్తవ్యులైన డాక్టర్ సట్ల కిరణ్ కుమార్ గారి ఆధ్వర్యంలో 24 గంటలు కార్డియాలజీ వైద్య సేవలు మరియు 2D ఈకో పరీక్షల కోసం సంప్రదించండి. లక్ష్మీ కార్డియాక్ అండ్ జనరల్ హాస్పిటల్. మా ప్రత్యేకతలు: ఈసీజీ, 2D ఈకో, లిపిడ్స్, బీపీ, పోస్ట్ బైపాస్ సర్జరీ, ఫాలో అప్, హార్ట్ అటాక్, కవాటాల జబ్బులు, కాళ్లవాపులు, గుండెలో రంధ్రం, గుండెదడ, పోస్ట్ స్టెంటింగ్ ఫాలో అప్ వంటి ట్రీట్మెంట్స్ చేయబడును. అత్యాధునిక ల్యాబ్ లో షుగర్, థైరాయిడ్, అన్ని రకాల జ్వరాలకు సంబంధించిన మరియు గుండె సంబంధిత పీటీ, ఐఎన్ఆర్, ట్రాపై టెస్టులు చేయబడును. అపాయింట్మెంట్ కొరకు సంప్రదించండి. డాక్టర్ సట్ల కిరణ్ కుమార్, ఎంబీబీఎస్, పీజీ, డిసిసి, కార్డియాలజీ, క్లినికల్ కార్డియాలజిస్ట్. లక్ష్మీ కార్డియాక్ అండ్ జనరల్ హాస్పిటల్, చందన్ మెడికల్ ప్రక్కన, శివాజీ చౌక్, స్టేషన్ రోడ్, ఆదిలాబాద్. సెల్ 8143337027.
Welcome back from the break. Like Rabindranath Tagore, Ray stole his time like a colossus. It means Ray passed his time, life as a renowned personality as if Tagore did. Both of them had a great reputation. Roboji write, it is as if all Bengal was in Manikda. The rich and the poor, the powerful and the humble, the peasants and the city persons, children, teenagers, adults and old people, men and women. And philosophically too, Roboji feels Ray took off where Tagore signed out. This sentence means, right here, this sentence is very important for the examination point of view. Philosophically, so here philosophy is nothing but fundamental nature of knowledge, a reality, right? So fundamental knowledge of reality. Roboji feels Ray took off where Tagore signed out. So here is a similarity between the way of thinking, the mindset of Satyajit Ray as well as Tagore. And this sentence means Tagore strived to keep aloft man's faith in humanity, right? In every poem and in his every short story or in any way, literally, what did he do? Tagore strived to keep aloft, right? Uplift the man's faith in humanity. So man should not lose hope in humanity, right? Every person should have human nature and they should respect each other. Ray continued the same spirit. Ray also searched for an answer as to the existence of God, and in addition to that also in humanity also, Ray searched for an answer as to the existence of God. He was a theist, right? He had belief in existence of God. And Tagore's philosophy was reflected in his last prose piece, Sabhyatar Sankat, a crisis of civilization. It was written at the beginning of the Second World War. This prose work contains his immortal dictum that in spite of what was happening, it would be a sin to lose faith in man. So in order to show the philosophy of Tagore, here we can read a book, right, a prose piece, Sabhyatar Sankat. So nothing but crisis of civilization. In Telugu we call it Sabhyata. సభ్యత, we use the word సభ్యత, సంకట్. సభ్యత అనేది సంకటంలో పడుతుంది. సో సభ్యత లేకుండా అసభ్యంగా మనుషులు ప్రవర్తిస్తున్నారు అనే అర్థం వచ్చేట టాగోర్స్ ఫిలాసఫీ. ఇట్ మీన్స్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ నాట్ బీయింగ్ సివిలైజ్డ్, దే ఆర్ becoming uncivilized. It was shown in the last prose work of Rabindranath Tagore, and the name of the work was Sabhyata or Sankat. It was written at the beginning of the World War II, right? Second World War. This prose work contains his immortal dictum that in spite of what was happening, it would be sin to lose faith in man. So again the same thing was reflected in his prose piece, that man should not lose faith in man. So we are all men, right? We are striving for the lively life of right, all of us, we are living for one destination, that is making our life happy. And analogy, a comparison for the purpose of explanation between the work of Tagore and the last three films of Ray, Ghanashatru, Shaka Prashaka and Agantuk is clear, right? So here what the philosophy was expressed by Rabindranath Tagore in Sabhyata Sankat, the same philosophy was shown in the last three movies of Satyajit Ray, and the name of the last three movies were Ghanashatru, Shaka Prashaka and Agantuk is clear. So here we use the word the analogy, a comparison for the purpose of explanation, right? So we can see it's nothing but explanation. So there is relation between Sabhyata Sankat as well as these three movies made by Satyajit Ray. So the theme of these four movies, Sabhyata Sankat as well as Ghanashatru, Shaka Prashaka and Agantuk, was clear, right? It was very similar. In these three movies, Ray was directly talking and preaching the people his personal message on society and civilization. Yes, so during these last three movies, he was speaking to the audience and directly talking and preaching the people, right? He wanted to make changes in the behavior of the people, therefore he started preaching the people through his movies, his personal message. So what he thought good, and he was telling through the movies on society and civilization. So he had a great a bad mood about that. He was feeling bad that civilization is in danger, right? It was becoming it is damaging, so that he wanted to make certain changes in the mindset of people. Therefore he used directly speaking through movies. Ray was criticized by his critics. Yes, once again Ray was criticized. They said that it was a didactic moral instruction, right? He was not making films, but he was making only moral instructions. Through his movies he was giving moral instructions to the people, and he was telling the people how to lead their lives, right? And generally we feel that who is that person to say us how should we lead our life? Who is that man? Generally people say it like that. So ఆయన ఎవరు మాకు చెప్పడానికి అని జనరల్గా మనం ఉపయోగిస్తుంటాం. They spoke more than necessary, right? They criticized very harshly. They used the words more than necessary. So here the word is called verbose. Verbose means using the words more than necessary, and here didactic means moral instruction. Ray was hurt by the stringent criticism, harsh criticism, because he thought that he wanted to make certain changes in the society, because he was feeling bad that civilization is going wrong in the wrong track. So he wanted to make changes, but people were not able to understand, and people were on the other hand they were criticizing him. So he was hurt by the stringent criticism. His earlier films had shown that he was motivated by the impulse of aesthetics. What does the word aesthetics mean? A set of principles concerned with the nature and appreciation of beauty. On the other hand, his last three films were self-expressive, right? So whereas the first movies were talking about aesthetics is nothing but the beauty of nature, principles concerned with the nature and appreciation of beauty, right? Completely the beauty was shown in his movies, therefore he got applause from the people, because completely his movies were based on aesthetic movies. The beauty was shown, the nature's beauty was shown. But whereas the last movies, he was preaching the people. Right. On the other hand, his last 3 films were self-expressive. He was speaking, he was giving his personal feelings to the people. We, here the word we means Roboj and others were denying or contradicting or opposing Satyajit Ray right to speak. No one is a prophet in one's country, said Roboj. This proverb came into use from the Bible, where Jesus speaks to the people of Nazareth, the town where he grew up. They refused to believe in his teachings and they considered him one of them without authority to preach them. Right? So they were denying. Roboj and others were, they wanted to stop him, and they advised him not to preach the people, not to say anything, not to express his own views, right, on people, right, not to apply his own ideas on people, right. But Satyajit Ray did not listen to them, and here Roboj contradicted with him. Roboj opposed, even though they were very good friends, he opposed in this matter, right, and he wanted to stop his right to speak. No one is a prophet, and he told one more proverb also, no one is a prophet in one's own country or one's country, right. No one is a prophet in one's own country. Actually, this is the sentence taken from the Bible, where Jesus speaks to the people of Nazareth, right. Here this is not mentioned in our textbook, so I searched, and what is where the origin of this proverb. One is a prophet in one's country. Okay, no one is a prophet in one's country, and here there in Nazareth, Jesus says some preachings. He wanted to make certain changes, but here there Jesus was not listened to. People were not understanding. People were laughing at Jesus. So such bad experience was there with Jesus, and here Satyajit Ray faced the same experience. Where he grew up, they refused to believe. Here the people of Nazareth refused to believe in his teachings, and they considered him one of them without authority to preach them, right. One of them, right. They said that people of that village, that town said that he had no authority to preach them. He had no authority to preach or to mold their lives. So who was he to tell us to all the preachings? In the same way, Satyajit Ray faced the same experience. The last time the two friends met, Ray was in hospital on his deathbed. True to his habit, Roboj went to meet him on the dot at 9 a.m. He had grown so weak that he looked frail as a child. Roboj did not stay long. As he was leaving, Manikda said, "Bhalo laglo." It was nice. Those were his last words between the two friends. And here what happened? Like that, their friendship was going on, and last time, where did they meet? Roboj and Satyajit Ray. So Ray was in hospital on his deathbed. He was seriously sick, right, and he was on his deathbed. True to his habit, Roboj went to meet him on the dot or on sharp at 9 a.m. He had grown so weak. Satyajit Ray became so weak, and he looked frail. He was unwell. He was delicate like a child. Roboj did not stay long there in the hospital, and he was not able to see his friend on deathbed, and therefore he wanted to leave hospital. And before leaving the hospital, Manikda said to Roboj, "Bhalo laglo." So it was nice. The meaning of the word, the phrase, Bengali phrase, "Bhalo laglo" means it was nice. So then what was nice here? To see him, to see his best friend. Satyajit Ray felt very happy on seeing his best friend Gaston Roboj, and those were his last words between the two friends. One important fallout of their friendship was the establishment of Chitrabani, a communication and film institute, the first of its kind in West Bengal. It was founded in 1970, and Ray lent his name as co-founder. Later, he was the advisor of the institute. So one important followed. So because of their friendship, the result of their friendship was establishment of a Chitrabani or Chitrabani. It's an institution, a communication and a film institution which was established in Kolkata, and the first of its kind in West Bengal, right? And before that, such kind of a studio, a Chitrabani, a film making studio was not there in West Bengal, and it was the first of its kind, and it was founded in 1970, and Ray lent his name as co-founder. Actually, the founder of this film institute Chitrabani was Gaston Roboch, and co-founder was Satyajit Ray. He lent his name as a co-founder, but the idea of making Chitrabani was what belongs to Gaston Roboch, and later he was the advisor of the institution, right? Satyajit Ray worked as advisor of the institution. Roboch arranged most of the initial funding from Canadian agencies. He opined that richer countries in the West are indebted to countries like India because India stands for culture and moral values. Okay, in the beginning of Chitrabani days, he arranged funding, he arranged money amount to establish Chitrabani. Roboch arranged most of the initial funding from Canadian agencies, right? He brought money from Canadian agencies and he invested in Chitrabani, and he made a big studio in West Bengal in Kolkata. He opined that richer countries in the West are indebted to, very thankful, very grateful to Indian people and India, because the India is a motherland for culture and traditions, and so many things were taught to other countries of the world, because India stands for culture and moral values. For 26 years, Roboch was the director of Chitrabani, and under him the institute not only, sir, break.
ట్యూబెక్టమీ, వాసెక్టమీ ఆపరేషన్లు చేయబడును. మా వద్ద ఈసీజీ, ల్యాబ్, నెబులైజర్, ఆపరేషన్ థియేటర్, లేబర్ రూమ్, ఇన్ పేషెంట్ సౌకర్యం కలవు. మా హాస్పిటల్లో డెలివరీ అయిన ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి బేబీ కిట్ బహుమతిగా ఇవ్వబడును. అన్ని రకాల ప్రసూతి సేవల కోసం సంప్రదించండి. శివప్రియ మెటర్నిటీ అండ్ చిల్డ్రన్ హాస్పిటల్, స్టేషన్ రోడ్, శివాజీ చౌక్, ఆదిలాబాద్. ఫోన్ 08732230134, సెల్ 9182511234.
ఆదిలాబాద్ న్యూరో సూపర్ స్పెషాలిటీ హాస్పిటల్ ఆదిలాబాద్. మన ఆదిలాబాద్ లో ప్రతిరోజు ఫుల్ టైమ్ సీనియర్ న్యూరో ఫిజిషియన్ గారిచే సూపర్ స్పెషాలిటీ వైద్య సేవలు. డాక్టర్ ఆర్.
For 26 years, Roboch was the director of Chitrabani, and under him the institute not only produced important documentary features but also became breeding ground for local talent for film making, right? A great contribution was there of Chitrabani in making movies, in making documentary movies in West Bengal as well as in India. For 26 years, Roboch was the director of Chitrabani, and he made several documentary features of different aspects, but also became the breeding, and along with that it became the breeding ground for local talent. It became a center point, a producing point, right? And it was giving opportunities in filmmaking and local talent for filmmaking. So the youth of that area were participating in filmmaking, and it became a what we can say that an industry. It was giving opportunities, and employment production was there in the movie. Like that, Chitrabani served West Bengal as well as India to come up with talent of Indian youth, making use of Indian youth. Yeah, this is the article published in Frontline magazine in July 2006. So this is a newspaper article about Satyajit Ray, the greatest personality of Indian film industry. And here, then after going through this lesson, then we can see some kind of questions. Pick out some one word substitutes from this lesson, right? So during this lesson, I told you some vocabulary. Some in the first slide I have given you different slide on vocabulary, and afterwards I gave the meanings of the words just beside the word, the new word. So let us see. Can you tell me the answers for this one? What do we call? Now you have to give the one word substitute. One word substitute is nothing but a single word which can replace the big sentence, a long sentence. A short stay between two places. A short stay between two places, what do we call it? Right, in the first slide itself we have seen it. What is it? Stopover. The word, one word substitute is stopover. And now see the second one, a person who brings out new books. A person who brings out new books, we call them publisher. Let us see the third one, a group of three films that has the same characters or subject. It's a group of three movies. I told you the group of three movies, and here what we said? Apu trilogy. Here we have to use the word only trilogy. A group of three films is nothing but trilogy, and the characteristic of trilogies has the same characters or same subject. And what do we call? Now you have to give a one word substitute for the sentence, a handwritten document. What do you call a handwritten document? Imagine. Yes, you are right. The word is manuscript. Manuscript. Right, now let us see the last word. Last sentence, using more words than needed. Yes, I told you during this lesson, I told you, right, using more words than necessary or than needed. What do we call it? Verbose. V-E-R-B-O-S-E, verbose. The meaning of the verb verbose is using more words than needed. So these one word substitutes are there in our lesson, and actually in after the lesson we can see more sentences, but I have provided you only 5 sentences. You can go through the text. One more thing, evaluation. Here for example I am providing you some comprehension questions. Right. So in examination what happens, you will be given a paragraph, and you will be given 5 questions, or what happens, some multiple choice questions as well as some general questions. Right. So for example, who is speaking in this article? Right. Who is the speaker of this article? So throughout the lesson one man is speaking, he is telling the whole thing, whole story, and you have to mention the name of that person. And the next question is, 2 great personalities of West Bengal are talked about in this article. 2 great personalities of West Bengal. Who are they? You have to mention the 2 names of those great personalities who belong to West Bengal. And the third question is, why did Roboj take 9 years to meet Ray? Yes, so there we talked. So why did he spend 9 years before meeting Satyajit Ray? So what was the reason for that? Right, you have to mention the reason. Right, so such questions may be asked in the examination. Now one more kind of questioning is in our question paper, editing. So editing is nothing but, you will see a sentence but there would be an error. Right, there will be an error in the given sentence. You have to find out the error and you have to correct it. This part is called editing. And in the first paper we will find the sentences from the textbook, and it provides you 5 marks. One Sunday morning, Roboj was found Ray in a disturbed mood. One Sunday morning, Roboj was found Ray in a disturbed mood. Yeah, whether this sentence is right? Now you have to see the every word. Right, so here you have to see Roboj was found Ray. Is it right? Here we use the phrase was found. Usually after be form we use verb 3, past participle form of the word in passive voice. Right, here, but here what happened? Roboj found Ray, not was found. So here was is unnecessarily used. Now here we have to omit the word was. The correct sentence is, one Sunday morning, Roboj found Ray in a disturbed mood. But here extra word was is used, it should be deleted. Right. So this is called editing. Here one error is found and we made it correct. And let us see the second one. I was stunned absolutely by his human concern. I was stunned absolutely by his human concern. Here the word order went wrong. Here we used the adverb at the wrong place. Here the adverb is absolutely. Usually adverbs go with the verb. So here the right order is I was absolutely stunned, not stunned absolutely. Yes, understand? I was absolutely stunned by his human concern. So absolutely should come forward, right, beside was or in between the words was and stunned. I was absolutely stunned by his human concern, right? This is the right sentence. So like this, and let us see the third sentence. Robert does not speak by the arrogance of the West. Robert does not speak by the arrogance of the West. Yeah, here you can see the prepositional error, right? Robert does not speak by the arrogance, or do you find any preposition you can replace the preposition by? The what is right? After going through the lesson, you can understand what is right. So, Robert does not speak with the arrogance of the West is right sentence, but here I have used wrong preposition by. It should be replaced by the preposition with, right? So, such sentences you will find in the public examination. So, I have given you here only 3 sentences, but in the examination you will find 5 sentences from one unit itself in a paragraph mode. You have to read the paragraph, and you have to find the error out, and you have to make the correction. For every correction you will get 1 mark in the public examinations, right? And out of this lesson, a discourse question may come in the public examination, that is a conversation. You will provided a paragraph, in the paragraph mode you will be given in the question paper, and you have to, or a theme is given, and afterwards you have to turn up into conversation. There may be a question like this, describe the conversation or imagine the conversation between Robert and Satyajit Ray in their first meeting. So you have to assume what would have they talked, right? How they introduced each other, and how their discussion went on, their meeting went on, their rendezvous went on, right? So like this. So such kind of imaginary questions may be given in the in discourse part, right? So discourse is given for 10 marks in the first paper, right? Thank you so much, and I wish all the students best, and go through the lesson, and ask any doubts, to your subject teachers to clear your doubts. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best.
మరియు అన్ని రకాల నరాల వ్యాధులకు మరియు